It's Legrandzilla, and I'm working on the Sunwukong kit. Right now I'm soaking all the pieces in warm soapy water, use dishwashing liquid, and I take a stiff nylon brush or a toothbrush, I like this better, and I scrubbing it just to make sure there's no, well, in the case of most resin kits you have release agent. This I don't think has any on it, but just to be careful and to make sure I'm doing it right, I'm going to clean it like this and just give it a good scrubbing, just to make sure that there won't be any issues with the paint sticking. Once I do that, rinse it off. One thing, the base on this is hollow in the bottom. Some people have complained about that because they want a place to sign. Well, you could actually sign inside any of these spots, or you could fill this if you wanted to with something like Durham's water putty, or you could put like some vinyl flooring, a piece, cut it round and stick it on here, sign it, whatever. But there's a lot of ways around that. I like this the way it is because it's light. I never really signed the bottoms of mine, but if I wanted to, obviously I could work with that. Another thing about my kit is actually a prototype, and it came with the blue translucent water. I'm going to be painting over this. I kind of want my water to be kind of brownish greenish. I might be able to use some of that color that's in it to achieve the effect I want, but I'm not really looking for translucence. I'm not trying to light it up, but on most people's kits, I believe all the kits, are going to be clear, so you can use transparent paints and paint it however you want to. But in the last video, or actually the first video, I showed you the unboxing of the kit, and when you see that box in the future kits that people are going to be getting, it'll have that kind of box, so it can be shipped a little quicker. It's very good packing. It's a nice big box with lots of foam, so it'll be really good. I had heard that, I think it was last week, pre-orders ended. They are closing the orders up. There's still time to get your, if you have a pre-order in, there's still time to get that moving, so be sure and get with them. And if you want to get in on back orders, contact Maven Collectibles, and they will be able to do that for a while now. My goal is to get this done in time for to bring it to Wonderfest in Louisville, Kentucky, and then I would also like to bring it to Godzilla Fest, and that is in beginning of June for Wonderfest, and it's the end of or middle of July for Godzilla Fest. So if you want to see it in person, try to make it out to one of those conventions, and hopefully I'll see you there and you can see it in person. It's kind of hard to show in pictures how a kit really is looking. Usually they look a lot better in person. So I encourage you to try to make it out to one of those cons, and hopefully we can say hi. But anyway, I'm just going ahead and brushing up these all these pieces. I'm setting them on my towel here to dry, and after they're dry, I'm going to decide how I want to approach the painting. But I think I'm going to look into painting these pieces at least superficially getting paint on them before I put it together, or maybe I'll put parts of it together. Maybe all the parts that are skull crawler I'll stick together, but where they match up with con, I'll probably paint them separate. Now, the first thing I'll do before I actually airbrush any paint onto them is I'm gonna prime it. And I usually use auto primer, but I may use something different, a little bit more suitable for models for this project. We'll see. I think a light auto primer should work fine. I just don't want anything that's going to fill in the details, and that doesn't usually pose a problem. So I just got a couple more pieces here to scrub and set aside to dry. Be careful on the teeth here for the skull crawler. Like I said, there's hardly any. I mean, there's nothing here as far as sprue or flashing. It's all great. Continuing to look at references so I make sure painted as accurately as possible. Doing the face there. Hopefully the camera's letting you see what I'm doing. Kind of hard to judge that when you're not actually looking through the camera. I have it on a tripod right now. I've been working on some other kits as well, and I can tell you, I've run into some crazy, terribly made kits, and that's kind of how they were in the olden days. And but I tell you what, this kit is totally great. And I just had to dump the water out of one of these keyways because they're so deep. But I was doing a kit yesterday where the resin was so thin. It was supposed to be a solid resin kit, but it was just like a thin shell around what was supposedly the resin kit. Came in the mail, part of that broke through so I could see. I could tap it and I could tell where it was hollow. And so I went ahead and where it broke, I just peeled it away a little bit, made some resin, poured the resin in. I put about this much resin in maybe about from here to here, that much space of resin poured into this hole, and it ran into the legs and into the shoulders and all that, and filled it up. And then I had to resculpt where that texture had come off. A lot of work, a lot of big seams. This is totally going to be different. It looks great. So next you'll probably see some of my paint work, at least the priming, how I approach the color on the water will be interesting. But I just want to make sure I do a great job on this kit. There's just a couple things I might do with the Dremel to smooth it off, and that's probably just on the bottoms here where it just isn't the same height, and I don't really want it to stand up on just the pegs. I want it to lay flat, so I'm just going to probably hit it with the Dremel along here. A couple other places maybe that I might clean up a little bit on the base. That's about the only thing. And even that isn't anything really. So, stay tuned for more, and watch the first video if you haven't seen it yet, and then you'll see the progress of the kit as I put it together. All right. As I continue this project, keep watching, and hope you enjoy the process as I build Sunwukong. Right, thanks. Bye.